Fug, I will give him the best gobbler he's ever had.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof, and joining me tonight is Big L.
Hello, my people.
We got KooshMoose.
Hello. Hope you didn't hear that cough.
I didn't hear, so I don't think the people heard it. And we got X the Hero.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good.
Looks like you're picking your nose there, but I think you're trying to point to people. Oh.
Everything's kind of...
Yeah, on my...
Ooh, what's with my
on my screen,
cameras?
you're
The comment
backwards.
says that the comment says we're muted,
You're muted.
so this is probably the best show they've ever heard or never heard. We only hear FuFu.
Dad, I did it again. What happened?
We're new at this.
All right, say something, guys.
I mean, this will be
Something.
patron
Hello,
content.
guys.
There we
This is
go.
patron content.
I swear, I don't touch these sliders, like, at all. I don't know why it changes.
Thank you for
Ooh, is the gobbler
subscribing,
back?
KooshMoose.
Let's check.
The gobbler is back. I had
Yeah.
one on... Geez, what's today? I had one
Oh,
last
there's
Thursday.
the gobbler.
I posted a picture of it in the food channel. That was my first gobbler of the year.
What's that?
I have not
typically
had a gobbler.
I typically get one gobbler
What?
a year.
What is that?
Gobbler?
The gobbler?
It's you can get it
Like
in a
a
sandwich or a bowl.
turkey?
I prefer the bowl, but it is
A turkey
turkey,
sandwich?
stuffing,
Oh,
mashed
no.
potatoes, and cranberry sauce, just kind of plopped on top of each other. It's like
Or gravy,
Thanksgiving
if you
dinner.
go with the gravy option.
You have that
Oh, that's
independent
true.
of Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you can just pull up the Wawa app at any time
Oh,
and just
wow.
order a gobbler. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, I guess we should have said Wawa for.
We don't have that in New York. When I come to
I've seen it on the
Pennsylvania,
website. But...
I definitely go to Wawa. It's very cool. It's amazing.
Next time you're down in PA, hit me up. I will
Mediocre.
take you for a gobbler.
Oh man! On every street corner, you can get a gobbler.
some of the alleys. Yep.
Yeah.
I apologize to anyone that's watching this live.
I'm just-
as I edit this in like real
I'm
time.
fixated on watching you adjust the screens. It looks like you're eating the pie now. There's mashed potatoes.
Fug,
covered
I
in
will give him the
chats.
best gobbler he's ever had.
All right.
And now I know what the intro is going to be.
You can get the best gobbler in Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
I mean,
All right,
apparently
good
you can get the best one in Quakertown, Pennsylvania.
Ew.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, Mike, get out of town. Mike's making fun of New York.
All
He's still pissed.
Yeah,
that
the
Philly's
taters are
lost.
on top of Thug.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll move the taters. This is going to be it. This is awful. I am so sorry to everyone. I thought I had this all good. Apparently I didn't. There we go. All right. Taters are off of Fug.
There we go.
Anybody that watches this... that doesn't watch this has no idea what's going on, because all this is staying in the audio version, so that's gonna be great. All right, there we go. It is all Thanksgiving-ified, real Thanksgiving, not that fake Canadian stuff that's not in November. We don't celebrate that. We don't care about that one.
Boxing
Definitely
Day?
not me. We got the real one. All right, I had something I was actually like important or fun to start out with. I've completely forgotten now, because we started talking about the gobbler and I was adjusting cameras. So
What
now I
could
don't
be
know.
more fun and important than the gobbler coming back?
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
Was it the return of Game Fuel?
The return of Game Fuel? It went away?
I mean, these two flavors, of which I only have one.
Oh, that one. When you said Game Fuel, I was thinking the
energy drink stuff?
Yeah, like the pre-workout or whatever the crap it's called.
Oh, right.
The powder.
Like the ghost stuff or whatever it's called, yeah.
I haven't seen that Mountain Dew yet. I do want to get that. Wow, this is a lot of food talk. Michelle's going to love this.
Isn't this
an achievement
hunting podcast?
We got Kermit on the show. Hello, Kermit.
Hello.
There's not as many waifus as I thought there was going to be in X's room.
Yeah.
There they are.
There they are.
Can you show us the
doing this?
controllers,
Hold on. All right,
please?
let's
I
go.
want to see.
There it
looks
is.
like
There,
you're in
there they
the
all are.
closet. You need to come out of the closet, X.
I'm in the man cave.
Oh, all right.
All right. And anyway, why don't we get ahead and start with the show proper? Nice. Well, that will get flagged on YouTube. Why don't we go ahead and get started with the show proper before we get yelled at by Mental and whoever else? So, question of the week for this one that we asked our patrons is, what is the most difficult boss or comparable obstacle challenge, etc., whatever you faced lately? Tell us what it involved and if the achievement was well worth it. So I'll go ahead and start, I guess, and I'll read Frame's response. And he says, I just completed Trek to Yomi last month. That was a tricky completion. There is a Ronin mode, which is the hardcore mode. You do 75% less damage and take double damage. Ow. Jeez, it was. After that, you have to complete Kensai mode. Kensai? I'm going to go Kensai mode, which is one hit kills everything except bosses, which also means you. So you have to beat all bosses without getting hit. There are achievements for killing each boss without getting hit. So that is done in that mode. I remember you talking about that, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever? I can't remember. Did you do that?
I did not finish the game. I got distracted. But I got way farther than I did the very first time I played it.
You let Freem outdo you? Unbelievable.
Well, to be fair, no, he still did it after. I think he ended up buying it. I don't think he did it before the month was over.
Oh, really?
At least he did it.
Yeah. I think he tried to squeeze it
Oh my
in.
God, excuse me. Ooh, pardon me.
What are you
I
saying?
see nothing. I said nothing at all. I'm speaking in black and white.
All right. And nice. I see what you did there. And he goes on to say, this was a tough completion, essentially a 2D fighting game, having to learn the combos and master perfect parries. Infuriating, but fist pumping when finally completing it. It sounds incredibly difficult. Having to beat a game like that without getting hit sounds great. GG for you. Glad you were able to do it.
Well, you can block most everything. There are some red attacks that you can't block. But, there's a lot of stuff you can block, even if you're just sitting there holding the block button. So, it's not that bad. I think I played the hardcore mode up until about, I want to say halfway. I think I'm about halfway through in the hard mode. And then I still have to do the one-hit mode. But Freem went ahead and he played it on the hardest difficulty first. Whereas I went through and played it on, I think, normal or story mode just to get the story done. Because I wanted to do that. I wanted to make sure I got that done before it went away. And then so I ended up having to do, I'll end up having to do 3 full playthroughs. I think he managed it in 2. So if you have the time, 3 would have been nice. But if you didn't, then 2 could be a lot harder. Yeah.
Is it do you get abilities and upgrades that you can bring through each playthrough, or is it starting from scratch?
Combos. You are starting from scratch each time, but you carry with you the knowledge of the enemy's attack patterns, things like that, where to get all the upgrades. So your second playthrough will be faster and easier. Even though you are doing a harder difficulty, you're going to fly through the early levels pretty quickly and pretty easily until you get to the boss fights. So those tend to be a little tougher, even though they're stuff you've seen before.
Okay, it just sort of conceptually reminded me of Devil May Cry, where you're supposed to start on human and then get all your combos and upgrades and then go through on, what's the next one, Devil Hunter, and then Dante Must Die and Son of Sparta and all that stuff. So
I never played those games. I want to like those type of games, but I start to play them, and it's I don't like this. I mean, I don't know what it is about. I can't get into them.
I guess I don't want to go on too big of a tangent with the Devil May Cry. Unpopular opinion here: DMC, the reboot that never was, if you guys are familiar with that, is probably the best one in the series. So yeah, quick sidebar: they did Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then they're like, cool, that's the end of the story. We're going to soft reboot the franchise. So they came out with just DMC. is the 5th game,
Oh, I just
and
see
it
what you're
has
saying.
the new look for Dante. He's younger, he's edgier, and everyone hated it. So they're like, okay, we're gonna unsoft reboot it, and then they came out with Devil May Cry 5 that picks up right where Devil May Cry 4 left off. But I love the reboot.
Never happened.
Yeah, right.
DMC
Exactly. Well, just
never
pretend it
happened.
didn't happen. I love the reboot, so if you
Wow.
want to give it a shot, I would highly recommend it. It goes on sale all the time for like $2-3.
All right. Well, for me, my hardest challenge that we face lately, I guess technically we're still facing it. So Thursday night group, myself, Elle, Prue, and Michelle, we've been playing Gears of War 3 on insane difficulty. And crap, where did we leave off? I think we're on the last chapter.
I got like three chapters left. Or 3.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 chapters left. So we're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been the toughest obstacle that I've faced recently. I haven't really been doing anything difficult.
What?
Difficult?
You mean the servers?
I mean, man, it's just getting into them servers sometimes. It takes forever. Like there's been a few times while going through the game where it's just like we were just stuck, didn't know if we will be able to complete it, and if we weren't doing it in arcade mode, we were like talking about, well, should 2 people, Elle and Michelle, since they already have the achievement for completing on insane difficulty, just jump out and go to easy and make the challenge a little bit easier. But we didn't. We've all been playing this on insane, and like I said, a few parts just absolutely just beating our head against the wall until we finally were able to beat it. I can't wait to actually be able to unlock that achievement for insane difficulty. That'll be like Freem's at a fist pumping moment. Those games are so good.
See, I see no shame in you stick on insane and then someone else goes on casual and just steamrolls the whole thing. No shame in that.
So you can only do that in like the actual campaign mode. We're playing in arcade.
Gotcha.
Which since Elle and he's usually our host, since he's completed the game already, he's got a couple of mutators that helps us out. And on top of that, we get a little bit of experience since nobody has done seriously 3.0. And considering you need so much XP, even just a little bit of XP is nice. And you are so wrong, Ace. Gears is great. I love them.
Yes.
I'm very much upset that I never played them as they came out, and I just recently played them in the past few years.
The only online multiplayer outside of fighting games I've ever really gotten into was Gears 2 at launch. That was my jam. That was so much fun. I was terrible at it, but it was so much fun.
I tried to play... Which one did I just jump into? It was Gears... the Ultimate Edition. There was a Game Pass quest. Get a couple of kills or do a match or something like that. I forget what it was. I jumped into that multiplayer just to do the Game Pass quest, and holy crap, I just got my pooper pushed in. It was bad.
Yeah,
I don't think I got any kills.
Anyone still playing the old games is pretty much God mode at this point.
Yeah, it was bad. As soon as I turned a corner, it's just like shotgun to the face. I'm dead. I'm out.
Although, random fun fact, maybe we need a bot on live. Fun fact: the Gears of War 3 demo, you can still download that from the 360 marketplace. Why not, right? Apparently, the multiplayer servers for that are still live, and they are full of players in Egypt. Like, I couldn't tell you why, but it just randomly pops up on Reddit once in a while on like some of the Xbox subs. The Gears 3 demo is full on the Egyptian servers. Or I don't know if there's only one server and it's just all Egyptian players. But yeah, it's still like packed, like you can get into a game anytime with Egyptians.
That game came out like 15 years ago. Just go buy the actual game.
Again, I have no idea why, but it pops up every once in a while and it just cracks me up every time.
I can't believe the servers for like the demo are still out there. Huh. Yeah, Super Bomb in chat didn't even know you could play a demo online. That's actually a really good point, really.
I'll see if I shouldn't be able to. Can I post it in Twitch? Yeah, I'll post it in Discord. I'll pull it up.
Interesting.
Yeah, Ace. Anyone who starts off with the words unpopular opinion, they're just automatically wrong. They're looking at.
Let's be
they're
real.
looking to
That's like
troll.
half of my opinions.
They're just looking to troll.
Yes, that's why I say it half the time. I have many unpopular opinions, especially in food and drink.
It's always weird when someone says something's overrated. What they should really be saying is, it's not for me. I don't like it. Like, clearly, millions of people like it. So,
Ace.
It feels
mean,
like
they
starting a
made
sentence with like,
6
"Hey
of
man, no
them.
offense, but I'm about to offend you."
100%.
No, I get it. I think also our community is put off by the achievement list and don't take it for what it is. That happens a lot.
Oh, who cares about the completions?
lot of
Yeah,
people
that's one
here.
of the series I'll never complete any of the games, but I've shared in the past. Kelsey and I have gone through the entire series, and that's good.
I would love to be able to
Husband-wife
complete
bonding
one.
time. I'm
Just
not going
to-
to fuss about the
Just be able to do that.
There you go.
Oh, you mean
Neo
like
hates
Gears
them for the
Pop?
achievements. And he's nerdy.
Yeah, I would love to complete Gears Pop. That'd be great. I'll get around to that one day. I would totally like try to get into like a boosting group to try to do like Gears 3 since we're playing that now. Like I said, I love those games. It'd be cool to just have one on your tag that's complete. But honestly, there's such a time commitment. It's crazy. But yeah. X, why don't you go next?
All right. I will start off by reading. We'll do it slightly out of order on the document for possible spoilery reasons. MDP 73. My biggest challenge is having enough space on my hard drive, something Foof apparently doesn't have to worry about with 1.1 terabytes free. Recently,
I literally just did some cleaning out. I was pretty much full. I'm like, there's all these games that are on here that are just downloaded. I'm never going to play. I went through and deleted a bunch of them.
Yeah, I feel that. I have it highlighted. My biggest challenge is having enough storage on my hard drive. Recently, that obstacle was somewhat thwarted when I uninstalled Rocket League. I recovered about 34 gigabytes of space, but it was quite the challenge. It still feels wrong, but I had to do it. I don't think I believe him, to be honest.
There's no way that's true. There's
we'll
no
still-
way he uninstalled Rocket
He'll
League.
still keep answering Rocket League to all the questions.
To every
though.
question every week, right?
Probably.
So,
It
my
is true. He doesn't
personal
play them
answer...
anymore.
Oh, sorry.
He only plays baby
My-
games now, so it's a legit answer.
I mean, isn't that something that comes with the territory
I
if you
hate when
listen to
people
this show?
only play baby games. It's ridiculous.
So, like,
totally
most of the
But if
people
you only
listening
play
right
baby games, how are you hurting for space? They're all like 500 megabytes or something.
That is true.
And you uninstall them in 15 minutes. So.
now... Right.
And you uninstall them immediately. I don't know how you can hurt for space if you have nothing but baby games.
Unless you're waiting for the title update every 6 months. And then, of course, you know.
Then you just re-download it. Unless you have New York internet, it only takes 2 minutes. Not even that.
It's got to be quicker just to wait for the update with the title update than uninstall, reinstall. You just got to think long term here. I'm with you. So, my answer to the question, what's the biggest challenge, obstacle, whatever, is Kelsey's asleep, so she won't hear me say this until she listens later. I love her to death, but oh my gosh, moving out too is really putting a strain on our relationship. I love the game, she loves the game, but it's
Oh, was you streamed?
we made it through the first game entirely like as intended, and then to do the cleanup we put the assists on. And then for moving out too, we're like, well, let's just start with a couple of the assists. So like things disappear when you throw them in the truck, just made it a little easier. So we put that one on. But now it's at the point where like we're running around and like, no, I need you over here. No, I need you over here. Like, why can't I move this heavy thing? Because we don't have that assist on. And she just keeps forgetting that we don't have that assist on. So it's just constant, just back and forth. I need your help. Why? I need your help. Why? And truthfully, we're having a blast with it. But it's gotten to the point where we can only do like 2 or 3 levels because we're getting a little too worked up, and the fun is sort of being replaced by the frustration there. So it's sort of a cop-out answer and not anything specific, but that is definitely the biggest obstacle for me lately, is not rage throwing a controller at my wife in a 2-player co-op game.
Yeah, like Eldritch said, get over here.
But the game's so much
It's funny
fun.
you
It's so
said it.
much fun.
Yeah,
I kind of feel that a little bit, where a while ago Brooke and I started Kingdom Hearts and she wanted to play it. And watching her try to play Kingdom Hearts 1, do that platforming in the very beginning on Destiny Islands. just give me the controller. Just give it to me. Like, it's bad platforming as is, and to have someone who doesn't play video games try to do that, it was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch.
I feel you with that aspect entirely. What was the like, what is it? Like the backseat driver? There's got to be a video game equivalent of backseat driver, because Kelsey's trying to go through Stray.
Oh, 100%.
And like, to me, someone who's been playing games for 20 years or more than that, would be like, oh, that's very easy. You do this, that, and that, and like, bam. Like that's just, I don't know, my brain's wired like that. This isn't a challenge. And then she'll spend like 5 minutes running around, and it just takes every fiber of my being not to grab the controller.
Go where the yellow is. Go where the yellow is.
So
Yes.
I'm good with it. I'm supportive. I'm letting her experience the game, but it's tough not to butt in for sure.
Uh-huh.
I assume it's probably, if
were
anyone
you gonna
has
say, Nate?
like young kids, it's probably similar.
Oh, 100%, I'm sure. Oliver's not at that age yet, so I don't know. But I'm sure that's coming. What were we going to say a minute ago, Nate? Before
I was just going to say, there's no shame in moving out to just turning on the assist, like from Go. Like, I had them turned off from Go just because, I'm not going to have a player too. And I don't want to play that stupid Tetris game of like getting everything in the moving van. That's murder. But then also, like, maybe I didn't turn the time limits down. Like, maybe I left the time limits alone initially. But yeah, the heavy stuff, with one person, you're not going to do it. So I turned that off immediately, and then forget the Tetris game of putting stuff in the cart, let it just disappear as soon as you put it in. But to me, there's no shame. Have fun. And I know you're not saying there was shame for doing it that way. You guys have fun, challenge yourself a bit. But yeah, it's freaking-tastic game. I'm sure we'll talk about it more times than you want us to.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, highly recommend, honestly, despite our frustration. Still having a lot of fun, just in shorter bursts than we probably... Or I guess that's probably good that we're doing it in short bursts like that.
It's a long game. I was surprised at how much content there is.
Yeah, actually, because again, not really a spoiler, there's no real story. So you start in Packmore, and then we were driving around like, we're running out of things. Like, is this much shorter? And then I won't spoil it, but it opens up, and then same thing. We're like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of levels here.
That's what I was thinking. I was surprised the same way. Like, oh, it seems like this one's smaller, but okay. And then it just expands, and you're like, oh, okay, this actually maybe bigger than the last one. So that's what she said.
All right. Why don't you read the next response?
I wanted to tell a quick story first, since we're talking about hard drive space. Very important. So the other week there was the 1 terabyte expansion card on that Woot, the clearance Woot site. Yeah. So it was $89 for 1 terabyte, and I still think it's ridiculous, but I went ahead and got one. So
I don't blame you. So it's not the best price, but I don't blame you.
For that price? No, that's absolutely worth it.
1 terabyte, and then you put it in, and then immediately says 920 gigs. So I installed.
Oh, that's the worst.
So I installed Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 5, Halo Master Chief Collection,
and then you bought a new card.
Halo Infinite, and MLB The Show 23. 5 games, and there's now 365 gigs free out of 920 for 5 games.
Sounds about right.
That's actually better than I thought.
Yeah.
The Forzas are huge.
When you said Forzas, Forzas are ginormous.
I figured I'd stick the biggest games on there. And I think Eldritch was telling a similar story in the chat. He paid $229 for the 2 terabyte, which is just ugh.
But
just
for
sounds
it, that's a
awful.
great
Just-
price.
I would have bought a console
ridiculous.
at that point, honestly. And he just said the same thing. He
Microsoft, do like Sony. Just let me put an NVMe drive in there.
He
That's the
downloaded-
problem. Sony's got it's the one thing they
It's
got
so
right.
much better.
It's the one thing they got right is like
Their
the
console is ugly. I hate that thing, but
the
my
prices
God.
on those drives
Are
are
they
nice.
hot
That's
swappable?
true.
Yes, it's actually very easy.
Yeah.
You just take them out and you put them in.
I don't know about the Playstation. The Playstation, I think you have to take apart, but I could be wrong.
It's
Yeah,
a
you do
couple
have to
screws,
take-
not like
you have to take
dismantle
it
the whole
apart.
thing.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You just take the side panel off, put the NVMe in, put it back together, and boom, you got more.
Yeah, the installation was very easy. You just stick it in the back. Stick it in.
I also don't like that because I don't want to have like something sticking out the back of the Xbox like that.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
it's not
especially when it
like
costs
you're
you
looking-
it's not.
over $200.
It's not
That
so
doesn't
bad.
bother me in the least because the cables that you have already stick out further. It's not like you had the console flush against the wall and now the expansion
No, I
device
just
think of-
inhibits that.
Okay, so mine actually is kind of flush against the wall, but because of the shelf that it's on, I drilled a hole in the back of it so it can go
Okay.
all the way up against the back.
That's smart.
But I'm also thinking like if I move my Xbox, I just don't want I don't like it hanging off the back there because it could break.
Well, number one, you can't get purchase shamed for buying that thing if they can't see it. So you're like, you bought the terabyte extent, just delete and reinstall. So now you don't have to answer that question. If it's
Oh,
in
I
the
just
back.
use the USB drive.
No.
It is what it is. Some games can go on that, and the others
Right.
have to go on
Older
internal.
stuff can go on that, but yeah.
Yeah,
For the stuff you play a lot, put it on internal or that expansion card.
I have found
it's
that
absolutely worth
the
it.
external is going so slow now. Like it's not completely dead, but
Oh yeah,
it's just so obvious when something's on there, and then I try to move it to the internal. Like it'll just stop halfway through, and it just seems like it's
Take a breath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Try to press.
you know what the craziest example of external versus internal is, and Nate would probably know this outside of you two. Prominence Poker.
Oh,
It is unbelievable how long it takes that game to load when it's on the external, and how quickly it loads when it's on the internal. It's
Mhm.
a poker game.
I mean,
I will
it's
never
a-
not
that
complain
was-
about that. I know I've complained
that
about that
was
on the
a-
show.
all
I will
poker
never
games
not
need
complain
Unreal
about it.
Engine. That's
I mean-
just a given. You just
It went
They
from
need
I
it.
think 3 minutes to 30 seconds. So like it was significant.
Literally,
It was
yeah.
significant.
It's unbelievable how much time that game takes to load.
that and Sea of Thieves, but nobody plays that, so we can't actually confirm that. So
Yeah, sorry, Fud.
The deciding game for me was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Just going from my external 4 terabyte to internal on Series console. It went from like 3 minutes from booting up the game to actually playing to like 45 seconds. It's great. Like that was the one where I'm like,
That's
okay,
insane.
this is great. This is worth it. This is the next gen upgrade.
That's
we've been waiting for.
insane. Oh, that's definitely the actual next gen upgrades. Graphics only get so good you can't tell it no more. It's the loading times.
No one cares about ray tracing.
and also the good graphics are only good for kids, people with good eyes, like us aging gamers. Better graphics don't really matter after a certain point and a certain distance and a certain time at night. So yeah, we're not going to notice those upgrades.
My TVs are like Walmart 4K TVs, so they're 4K. They're probably not. They're not the best.
Nothing wrong with that. It's one of those things where for
I don't care that much.
$300 you get, the game looks great.
Uh-huh.
For $1,500 it looks 10% better.
Yep. Did you ever read that response
No,
out?
he didn't. He just told his story.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And he
I
was
thought
patiently
that was
waiting.
a derail.
Very patiently, yeah. Nice job.
Buried the lead. Which, to tell a grammar story, I just learned that burying the lead is spelled L-E-D-E, and I never knew
Mhm.
that. You know
Really?
that, X?
That's so unlike you.
I know,
Yeah.
but I admit it. I just never saw it in writing before.
I
I
bet
guess you
that's
knew
just
that?
wrecking havoc on your brain.
Oh, God, don't Elroy us. Anywho's, I'm surprised you didn't. Oh, I see why. Okay. Chewy says, I don't really play difficult games, but playing all the Dark Pictures games with Mental Knight in October was quite a challenge. I had to suppress my inner griefer and avoid deliberately failing QuickTime events to make his characters suffer horrible fates. Then again, I still failed plenty by accident and ended up letting my own characters suffer horrible fates anyway. It was worth it for the gruesome deaths we witnessed along the way. What are the Dark Pictures games again?
I have no idea.
Horror. That's all I know.
Are they horror or
spooky.
are they like suspense? Like, I don't think there's a lot of gore and gruesome stuff.
You just said gruesome deaths.
Yeah, gruesome death.
Was he
There's no double jump. There's no reason that I will play those. So.
Oh, oh, this sounds familiar. Okay.
It sounds like a
like that,
they're
like the
games.
FMV
I was thinking they're
games?
point and clicks.
I don't think they're FMV.
Anyway, there seem to be 4 of them: The Devil in Me, House of Ashes, Little Hope, and Man of Medan.
Yeah, this doesn't look like FMV.
They're all like
That is
20-hour games.
scary.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at some clips on DA. That's what I'm doing now.
Oh, I don't want to get banned.
Why did I see that?
What is this?
So-
I can't do eyes.
So I guess I'm
and
wrong.
he just got stabbed through the eye.
Is what that reaction tells me is that
you
I'm
saw
wrong.
eyes.
He got stabbed through the eye. I can't do eyes, man. Ugh.
It's just a game.
Oh, but
He's
it's just
fine.
Dead Space.
He's
Come on, just
fine. He's fine.
No, I can't do that. Eyes, they I can't even talk now. That gives me the heebie-jeebies more than anything. I can't. Ugh.
Do you have an answer to the question, Al? Or
I hope you never watched the.
Oh, yeah, that's
I hope
right.
you never ever watched the Three Stooges, Kenny, because what Mo does to Curly's eyes, you wouldn't want to know.
I've seen
several
it.
times per short. He just right in the
Yeah.
eyes.
I don't like it, but that doesn't like give me the heebie-jeebies like what I just saw, where someone just got stabbed through the eye, or like I just watched Invincible again, and like someone pushes their eyes into someone. I'm not going to say who and whatnot. It's just ugh.
Have you
I'm
watched
saying
Game of
don't watch
Thrones?
Bodies on Netflix. So
No, I have not watched Game of Thrones. I know that stuff's in there. I
Yeah.
want to.
There's one scene in particular.
But I have to look away.
There's one scene. Anyone who's watched it knows the scene I'm talking about with the eyes. I won't say
Oh, yeah.
more.
And this comes from someone who has contacts in right now. Like, it took me a lot of work to be able to put contacts in.
Contacts are the worst.
And
All right, so I guess my answer.
Rocker just clipped that.
Of course he did. That's all right. No one will care about that one. They're just interested in me giving a gobbler.
Who sees something unsettling? This is the same Rocker dude who told me he wasn't going to be around tonight. Just so you know.
What a jerk. What were we saying now?
I don't know. Rocker's a jerk. So the biggest challenge I had recently was the game I talked about last week, Anodyne, the final boss. So have you ever played anything and then you fight a boss or something, you're like, oh, how am I going to do this? I'm never going to do this. And you get killed repeatedly. And then when you finally beat the boss, you didn't get hit at all or barely got hit. It was one of those type of situations.
Yes.
So you have to be
you come back the next day, or you just complain about it.
Yeah,
and you immediately get
complain
as soon as
about
you
it.
complain. Yeah.
But once you finally do it, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Either because
there's a jump button.
you could run.
You can run.
Oh, you can run. There's a run button. Why wouldn't they tell you there's a run button?
So the last boss of Anodyne just involves, like most games, patterns and patience, and it's like, oh, how do you do this? And then finally I got it done. So that's always a good feeling to not only do it but when it's the last boss of a game and you're like, oh, I did it, and now I could just sit back and watch, the end scenes and the end credits. So that's always a nice feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully
Quick
we
question,
get that next week with Gears 3.
Everybody watch end credits once you beat a game.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Best grip.
It's like a movie, and then movies now, I stay to the end of the credits and just, hold in my urine and hope that nothing happens. Or if it's a Marvel movie,
Marvel has taught me that I have to stay at the end of the credits, no matter the movie.
I mean,
Yeah, most movies.
but you could
I
run
just
to the
don't like
bathroom
getting
and
burned
smiles.
where I sit through and then there's nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
if the ushers come in and
Oh,
start,
that's the
if
worst.
the ushers come in and start cleaning, you could ask them, and they'll generally know.
Check out just
I
Media
don't trust
Stinger.
them.
There is a
This
website.
is my
right?
my hot tip of the week. Check out Media Stinger because then you can check to see what movies have stingers after.
That's
and then
kind
you
of
don't have to waste your time.
spoilery.
No, they do it in a non-spoilery way. They tell you, oh, there's a mid-scene credit, there's 2 after, or there's like 2 mid-scene and 1 at the very, very end, so you can kind of be prepared.
And then
Note to self: movie
bathroom
stinger.
breaks.
Got to remember
Yep.
that.
No,
And
I'm
then-
100% with you. Before we go see a movie, I always look up not what is
Really?
the scene, just is there a mid or post credit scene.
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
Media Stinger.
Okay,
Media stinger.
and then
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know what the scene is.
No,
I just
no,
want to know
no.
if there is one.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you want to know, you can click in, but the default is it'll hide that from you.
It's
and then there's
very
this
nice.
other
It'll be,
website.
This movie has 1 mid credits and 1 post credits. Done.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's this other website also
Hmm.
for old people like me, where it tells you a good place to go and go to the bathroom, and it'll tell you what you missed in that minute or two. It'll say you go.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
That's such a good idea.
yeah,
I've never heard that.
when I go to the theater, I get the large drink and I refill it a million times, and I always wind up going to the bathroom during the movie. And I'm like,
Stick a bottle.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
It's
So
to
So
your
when do you
character.
refill though?
I'll wind up drinking
Are you
out of there.
refilling mid-movie, or are you just like suck
Yeah.
it down before?
I'll run out with the empty
the
popcorn
movie
thing and
starts?
refill it mid-movie also. Absolutely.
Let you do
If I'm
that?
paying $25 for popcorn
You
and
can
a drink. Yeah.
Hold up. You can refill your popcorn?
Right?
Oh,
This
yeah.
is news to
Yes.
me.
Where?
AMC, you
movie
can.
theaters,
don't
any
know.
movie theater. It's pretty
That's
common.
standard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually when you get the
out.
large one, you could refill it. And I go with the
Mhm.
fair.
AMC lets you do
And
that?
I go with the
I didn't know
family of
that.
4, so
Yeah.
yeah. I know, Mike. I'm not sneaking in popcorn and drinks to a movie. I'm not that cheap like you, Mike Pitch. But I'm cheap enough that if
Okay,
I
so
spend
the theater
$25, I'm going to do
This is
it.
wild to me. I'm just reading the chat. Everyone's like, who doesn't know that?
I know,
had
right?
no idea.
I'm so glad X is here right now. I didn't know you could refill
I had
popcorn.
no
I've never.
idea.
Yes, I
That-
run out during the movie.
Actually, I
have
know
done
for
it.
a fact I can't. The one I go to.
I think you're right. I think it is large only. Like
Yeah, usually,
I don't think you
usually
get,
they
like, the small
upsell
and
you.
doesn't
keep going
Usually they
back and forth.
upsell you with that.
Yeah.
You can ask for
Huh.
the refill
Go to
up front. That's
Go to
kinda
AMC because they have the nice recliners and So what was this question again about movies?
cool.
Yeah, it's like, what do you put on the popcorn?
Oh,
are you a movie butter
liquid-
guy? Or
yeah,
are you,
of course. What
white
else is there?
cheddar?
Oh, you always just get the butter.
No, it's too greasy.
Welcome to our food podcast,
What?
folks. Absolutely.
Whose
No,
turn was it?
I always do popcorn and soda. And apparently, I've been missing out on a lot of popcorn.
Right?
I'm taking sock
Shoot.
candy is what I take in. Just a nice thing of gummy bears in the socks.
Oh, that
They don't
you-
stop you.
You have to sneak in the candy. They charge you $8 for a box of
Yeah.
M&Ms. That you
Mhm.
sneak in. Okay.
See, I don't want candy.
M&Ms with popcorn together is just amazing. The salt and the sweet.
An
Oh,
assortment of sock chocolates
Oh.
with my popcorn.
sock
Yeah.
chocolate. So Anodyne,
No, I just-
good
I just-
final boss and the
So
end credits. I
Anodyne.
watched. I think that's how we got there.
See, little known fact, we don't actually eat dinner before we do this, so therefore we're all hungry. That's why we talk about food
Mhm.
so much.
And I'm
Or
missing
something
my
like that.
Same
missing
thing
my
when you go to the
Halloween candy
movies.
fix.
All right.
Just click on someone else. Call
Well,
on Nate.
Nate, it's your turn.
Thanks for throwing. Mental
And
Night
I will be
5.
I will be right back.
Mental Night 5, he's got to get some of that sock candy. Mental Night 5 says, I haven't played anything too tricky lately, but one challenge that does come to mind is playing all the Dark Pictures games with Chewie in October.
Here.
You had to coordinate and cooperate, and you can imagine what a chore that is through the impenetrable accent. It's like bargaining with a Cocker Spaniel. It's like someone is underwater with a mouthful of peanut butter, and you need to tell them you need a code to unlock your cage. Please don't tell them I said this, but his film school addled mind can't discern between fantasy and reality, so he'll call a character Jessie Buckley, and I'll say, okay, cool, she's Jessie Buckley. Then the game will say, go to Kate's room, and I'll say, who's Kate? We don't have a Kate. And he'll say, you're playing Kate right now. And I'll say, I thought it was Jessie. And he says, no, that's the actress. There you go. It just sounds like torture. Sounds like absolute torture.
It's like some top tier trolling in like such a subtle way, though. I love it.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I bargained with a Cocker Spaniel. It's fantastic. So for me, if we're going by the letter of the law, the most recent thing that I kind of struggled with was The Legend of Tian Ding. I remember I first started playing on normal, which is the harder difficulty. And then I took a long break, and then it was going to leave Game Pass, so I jumped back on it. I was like, you know what? Why am I playing on normal? I'm just going to kick it down to easy and just like breeze through this thing. And then I started looking at the achievement list after I put, I don't know, it was like 70% through it, and I was like, that's why.
That's why.
Then I immediately stopped and went back and started from the very beginning again and played it on normal, which is their hard mode, and finished the game. And it was a little bit harder. It was significantly harder, and really only when you got to the bosses. Some of the bosses just seemed really cheap until you kind of figure out like their hitboxes. And once you figure out the hitboxes, it's doable, I should say. I won't say it's easy. It's doable. And so I kind of struggled with that, and I really did. There were a couple bosses that I was just like, this is just stupid. But got past them. Like, you're fighting this one boss on top of a train, and the platform is this big, and your character is this big, so you have 3 positions you can be on the train, basically. And then he does a couple attacks that fill up 2/3 this way, then 2/3 that way, then the whole thing, and it's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? So that was a little frustrating. And then, if I go a little farther back, I go to Super Lucky's Tale. And Super Lucky's Tale has 2 boss fights that you have to do without taking damage. And that's not so bad. But what's hard about it is that you're playing the original version of Super Lucky's Tale, not new Super Lucky's Tale, which is smooth as butter.
What's the difference?
New Super Lucky's Tale is smooth as butter. That game is beautiful, and you can turn the camera around, and it's great. Super Lucky's Tale has 3 camera angles, and they both turn like a rusty screw. Like, they're really bad, and then also the game hitches every now and then, just for whatever reason. I don't think it's because it was on an external hard drive. The game just hitches, and the final boss has RNG, and you're on a big board, and it's all RNG as opposed to where you can land, where enemies are going to spawn, and all that sort of stuff. So it's the combination of, is the game going to hitch? Am I going to get a good RNG? And am I not going to need to scratch my face or sneeze in the middle of this fight? That has to happen. And all those stars have to align in order for you to complete that. And so when I finally got that done, I was pretty happy. I don't want to say it was impossible, but it was the combination of like all these things have to align. The game has to treat me well. The RNG has to be good, and I have to not get distracted in my environment in order to pull this off. But yeah, Super Lucky's Tale.
I remember correctly, if you got really bad luck with the RNG, you could basically end up in a corner where you were stuck. Like, you were going to get hit. There was no way to dodge it.
You're going to get hit. Yeah. Or if you kill all the enemies and you don't leave an enemy as a bounce pad, then yeah, you're going to hit a red square and you're going to take damage. And, well, now you have to let yourself die. So because of the way the game works. And that was the other thing, is like, if you died when you're fighting the wrestler, there's like 3 phases or 4 phases to it, and some of those phases have like 3 parts, so it's kind of a long fight. And if you get to that 3rd phase and you jump on a bee wrong, or you get the depth perception wrong and you accidentally hit a stinger, well, now you have to, not only do you have to die, but you have to like back out to the main menu, go back in, start the fight again, because it won't just work by restarting the whole thing, because now you're on phase 3 or phase 4, and like, no, you have to do the whole thing. So you actually have to die and restart it. That was kind of annoying. So that felt good. And was it because the game was hard? It's because the game made it hard, I should say.
All right. Good answer.
Survey says,
Answer says, okay.
All right. Well, in that case, unless anybody has another game that they want to add or anything like that, or talk more about popcorn, let's go ahead and get into our news item. There's some November targets. Elle, would you like to talk about this?
or
since this sounds like a TA thing that you're going to be doing.
Yes, just to recap, we haven't talked much about the targets, but we should, especially this month, because this month there's a missable quote unquote one for earning achievements on a Friday. So if you're the type of person like me who usually waits till the last day, or the ones if you try to, what I normally try to do is I see what I get naturally and then wait till the last day and mop up. So earn 2 achievements on a Friday for bronze, but 6 for gold. I wound up doing that on the first Friday. I got that done pretty easily. And then there's earn 5 rare achievements, or 15 for gold. And I believe TA takes into account 360 games as well, and what they consider rare on TA. So it's not just rare games on Xbox One platforms, but 360 as well. And achievements in DLC and title updates, which is also just easy, especially with the all these easy gamer score games that have 2, 3, 4, 5,000 gamer score. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you play the newest Forza DLC or something real, not something fake.
Real game.
Real games. Those are the targets for November.
Are you guys, the other two of you guys going for the targets?
I have been quite outspoken,
Here we go.
typed, I guess, in Discord. No, it's my fault. I'm not blaming
No,
anyone
it's good.
but me. I promise.
It's good.
I never remember to enter them. I really wish there was just an auto enroll all 3 every month. I want to do them. I just never remember until I think last month I hopped in on like the 26th. Like, damn it, now I got to do these. So I think I got 1 bronze. That was it. Because I don't remember to join them. But I think it was no, it wasn't Fug. It was Mike Pitch. It was like, here, click this link right now, sign up right now. So I did. So I'm good for November.
Nice.
Generally, I wait until the first person I see sign up on my feed, and then I just click their links and click.
Oh, that's smart. I
sign
should do
up.
that. I'm
Yeah,
going to do
sure.
that. I'm not going to remember.
I feel like I get those as notifications. I feel like they show up as a, or maybe I just,
Those are usually
because
easier
I pay
to find.
attention to all the news
click-
articles.
The news article, you have to click around to find where to sign in sometimes.
Yeah.
We should
Not
set
sure.
up a bot.
Uh,
Just post on Discord with the link every month. Click here to sign up for all 3.
Oh yeah, or we
Come
can
on,
set a
Freem,
reminder
get
too.
it
But
Whatever.
I did all the Fridays. Yeah, as everyone knows, I have a perfect record of getting all the medals. I have
agree.
I get a medal every month.
Mhm.
And so Black Friday, I got that done, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to paint myself into a corner. Ooh Shiny, I have that, so I have all the rares. And now I just have to get the DLCs or title updates. And I'll just kind of let that happen naturally until like the last week, and then I'll clean it up if I'm missing. Because I would never miss one in the last week or last day or last hour. That would never happen.
That doesn't sound like you.
Killer Instinct would be really easy for that. Just throwing that out there for whoever might need
Totally.
to
That
know.
is true.
That's
like
totally a make
90%
game.
title updates.
Totally a make game.
It's on my tag. I did do my cousin played it a lot. He was really excited to play that.
Cousin?
Well, I'm sorry, my nephew. My nephew played a lot of that.
Ah,
Family math is hard for me.
I thought you.
It's all
I
the
thought
same.
You got
Mhm.
a new third party.
Oh no, we're
But
too old.
those
for
are
that.
banned.
Yeah.
It's only banned if you get caught. All right. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and get into the game showcase. And we'll just go right down the list. So, Elle, you're first up. What game do you want to talk about?
Because Fug is here, he wants to hear me talk about baby games. So I want to talk. I wanted to talk about Lord of the Click. And the reason I wanted to talk about Lord of the Click is because I'm really curious, like, is this the same genre as Clicker Hero stuff? Or, like, I never played any of those auto clicker games, so I'm curious if it's the same type of thing. But anyway, Lord of the Click is a cheapo $5 game from Victory Road and Huge Pixel. And it is what we like to call a Chivo Guides special, in which he begs the devs for cheat codes and gets them. and then you could put in a cheat code for unlimited money and beat the game in an hour or two. So this one actually isn't like a 5-second special. You got to go through all the stages, but you have infinite money, so you could just keep spitting out the units, which is the soldiers, or the fireballs, which eventually kill all the opponents. And then you can see the hardest achievement is, as you can see, the Great English. It's for pressed the buttons for 7,777 times. So
Nice.
I actually attempted to hook up a nephew, and it really didn't do anything. And so I just wound up going in and smashing all the buttons until it eventually popped. So this is one of those games where it's like no shame in putting the cheats in, because it's just going to take years to do. But basically, you're buying units and sending them across to the other side to attack their castle, and they're doing the same to you. So it's very, very basic. So that's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah, when I heard Lord of the Click, that's not what I was expecting.
Not at all.
That's why I wanted to ask you if Clicker Heroes or any of those is like that.
Not at all.
Okay.
Clicker Heroes is much better.
I know that.
Here's
But genre-wise.
And then after like a couple hours, you can stop doing that.
I was surprised you didn't play this one, X. This came out October 2020, so that was before your million, I think.
No, that was after. That was
when did you get it?
2020.
Oh, it was after? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got it right before COVID, so then I got to enjoy shutdown of freedom. It was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, so long ago.
Yeah, there are 4 of these now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the second.
What?
I saw the second one had one for playing in 2-player mode. So I just clicked on add to my game collection for that one. So if that shows up on our TDL, I will play it.
Yeah, the 4th one just came out on September 27th. So
I assume they all have cheat codes that are all super easy.
I mean, this dev, Lord of Click 2 is a chili dog one, and they got a new publisher.
Yeah, it looks like they all have the same code.
I mean, for anyone into such things, the first one, its TA is 1033, 2 is 1052, 3 is 1024, and then the newest one that just came out is 1045. So they're about a 1.000 ratio.
I'm glad you looked them up, because I didn't feel like going through all the pages and looking it up.
It's like 3 clicks, dude. We're just talking about Clicker Heroes. You can't handle 3 clicks.
Yeah, but in Clicker Heroes, I don't actually click anymore.
So those are,
and when I do click, my nephew clicks.
Idle clickers.
They start off for the first little bit actively clicking, but you very quickly upgrade to the point that you don't need to actively play. In fact, to do so would be pointless.
Yeah, there's
unless you're DPS
games.
idle.
Here we go.
There's clicking games, and then there's incremental games. And incremental is like you just keep doing incremental damage, and but the HP pool of the enemies also increases incrementally. So it's a race of which incremental is better, or which exponential is better. So yeah, they're math games basically.
They're education,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. What number is that? 6-7 with 45 zeros afterwards, because that's how much damage I'm doing a second.
Well, I guess we could talk about I don't see anywhere for this on the show notes or the doc, so I'm just going to talk about it now. November is Lego month. I'm going rogue. November's Lego month, and I also.
If only we had a contest section.
I don't see it. No, I still don't see it. So. My daughter and I picked up the Lego Ninjago game. We hadn't played that in a while, so I plan on doing that one.
I thought that didn't count.
Lego
Ninjago?
Wait,
no, Bionicle. Never mind.
Well, Bionicle Heroes, Chewie said wouldn't count.
Bionicle?
I convinced him that it should count because I need to finish that one off. So those are the 2 I plan on doing this month. I talked him into it. I told him to do Control F Bionicle Heroes and see Big L finished it, and then it would count for me.
But to be fair, his mouth was full of marbles, so we don't really know what he said. He might have said it was okay.
And then he also ripped off my arms, so it was very rude. And then he tried to mutilate me with horrible deaths in murder games. Anyway, and also I would be remiss if we didn't mention the game we played before we got started here, the Headbangers game that I forgot the name of, Headbangers Rhythm Royale. And it basically, you start off with 30 people, and then you play a music rhythm game, a mini game, and then after the first round, what was it, like 15 people advanced out of 30? Is that what it was? And then 10, and then 5?
20. You start off with 30, then it goes down to 20, then 10, then 5.
Okay.
I will say it was fun
I finished
to watch, but I don't think I'd enjoy playing it.
Well, try it on an alt, maybe.
I'm glad you had fun watching.
Try it on an alt. I had fun playing it. I guess Kenny didn't because he uninstalled it immediately. That he needed that hard drive space.
It's kind of fun in a group, but then if you have one person who's better, hypothetically, if you had one person who's way better than you,
dude, Brian was freaking good.
Then you have to sit and wait while they go an extra 3 rounds or 2 rounds or extra round.
That is a good point. You do have to wait.
There's a lot of downtime.
But you could spectate.
Now,
unless you're FuFu who doesn't know how to spectate, you can go in and spectate.
But is that fun? But
it was glitching for me. Don't go there
because you're not allowed to say anything because you're going to interrupt, them hearing the note they need to play or doing the thing. So that's kind of frustrating. So, is this a great party game? I don't know because you can't. If you're laughing too loudly, you're not going to be able to hear them. People are going to turn their stuff down. Then they're going to miss all the good zingers. So I don't know.
If you had 30 people, it'd be amazing. Let's get this happening.
Oh my god. Okay, if we can get 30 people together, I will totally try playing it again. I'll reinstall it. It'll take 2 minutes.
You weren't that bad at it, Kenny. I don't know why you didn't like it. You were no fun.
So, yes, I uninstalled it as soon as we were done because I know this was a game I'm never going to play again. Like I said before, I did a little bit of spring cleaning. I like to keep the hard drive nice and thin. I don't like seeing a whole bunch of games I'm just never just download just to download. I knew I was never going to play this game again. And if we do get a full party together and I want to play it, I'll just re-download it. I've got the space. No big deal.
I will say you're less likely to play it again if it's not on your hard drive. So,
I'm literally, it can be on my hard drive from now till the time that the server shut down in 6 months. I'm never going to play it again.
How rude.
Sorry, this is just another game like Party Animals. Server's going to be dead in a year. And by dead, I mean offline. And I hope I'm wrong. I do. I don't like, I truly hate these games that are always online because when they go offline, you can't play them no more. I hate when games go offline and they're dead.
You know what I hate?
Now this one I didn't think
gaming preservation and all that.
I didn't think this one was as fun as Party Animals when Party Animals is fun. It's not fun when you're playing as people that are really good because then it sucks. But this
Party
game,
Animals much better.
But Brian, when he was playing, he was likening this to some Nintendo game that apparently people really like. So maybe this thing does have some sort of future.
I hope it does. I don't necessarily think it's a bad game. It's not my favorite. I'm also a little salty that it's called Headbangers and there's no metal.
Yeah, there was no.
Well, we didn't see all the game
It's a play
types.
on words. It makes perfect sense.
No real headbanging. But yeah, that was
You're
Michelle.
banging your own
I got
head
really
into
excited
the
for that
wall
game.
because you're frustrated.
That was Michelle's brother, Brian, playing, and he got first place twice in a row. There's an achievement for getting 20 first places, I think, maybe 30 or 50. Some ridiculous number.
Yeah, in chat, Ace enjoyed Ace enjoyed watching it just because I struggled.
Now, since we're talking about it, I was looking at the forums and it did say that the PC version performs better. It's actually a little easier to win. It's better. It's easier to do better on the PC version. It's easier to win if you're only playing on the Xbox, because everyone is not playing the best version. So if you kind of know what to expect,
That makes sense.
Maybe it's easier to win on the Xbox, but you have a better experience on the
Understand
PC,
why, but
even though
okay.
you may not be winning. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. It's in the forums.
There's probably like less latency or something like that, Al. I even tuned it. At least I thought I tuned it to adjust the latency. So
any mistakes I made, I felt were my
Nope.
fault. I didn't feel like the game cheated or anything like that. I felt like
Oh, the game cheated me. Everything.
you're
Everything
right.
I
I
did wrong.
felt like the game was cheating me on some of
oh
them.
Yeah.
gosh,
I was perfect.
The one where it's like the classical music and like the heads are coming in from the right and you have to hit. I feel like I was getting cheated on those.
I feel like you
The
didn't
other
understand.
games, that
I feel
was
like
just
you didn't
my bad.
understand
I
how
was
it
just doing
worked.
bad.
That's what I think.
No, I know how I understood how it worked. Was mouse was really close, it's A. When it's a little bit more open, it's X. And when it's really, really open, it's Y.
Yeah, most of them you have to play at least one time before you kind of understand it.
Yeah.
To truly understand how they're played. You kind of think you get it, but then like that the Survivor Island one, I did not get right away. That took like 2 or 3 rounds before I figured that out.
Oh, one other thing I did want to mention about this game. If you want to try it, it's kind of difficult to get on your tag unless you do one very specific thing. And while you're playing a game, you'll see like an item box floating across the screen. If you grab one of those, which is really easy to be able to grab one, you'll unlock an achievement. If you don't do that, you'll be able to play the game a couple of times, unless you happen to win one. Outside of winning one, you'll be able to play the game a few times before you unlock an achievement. And then the achievements that are there to complete the different challenge cards are totally random. I can see those actually being really annoying because you have to, do X thing in this specific challenge. And if that challenge doesn't pop up, you might not get the opportunity to do it. Or if, like, let's say one of them is to win that challenge or to win that mini game, and you just so happen to get into that game when there's ringers, you might be screwed. I mean, you can be boosted, hopefully, but there's no way to actually select the games that you need, which is kind of annoying. Be nice if there was like a voting system of some sort, or like some sort of system where it's just like, I don't like these games, so the server is less likely to give that to you, or something.
If there was
like
like a Gears of War multiplayer, just do you want this one or this one? At least you can kind of do like a democratic vote there.
And like if it had it to where you could actually choose your mini games, that'd be even easier to do, to boost it. Although now that I think about it, because you actually have to have 30 people to boost this. So that might act, because the game wouldn't start until we had 30 people.
Yeah. But
when the servers are dead, we're really going to need a big group to be able to complete this.
Well, there you get one on the Xbox, one on PC, somebody on xCloud. Pull up an alt on your second console game share.
It shouldn't be that.
I was wrong. Corey and Fug just said that it adds bots. I didn't see bots fill in. My bad. I thought they were all real people. I didn't pay that much close attention apparently. So never mind. In 6 months you'll be able to do it by yourself.
Well, if I may do a quick...
Or maybe not, because Corey just said that the bots aren't that stupid and won a tournament, so who knows? Never mind. Jeez. I'm just going to shut up about doing that.
Well, if I may do a quick sidebar while we're talking about party games, Jackbox Party Pack 10 came out recently, and as always, I always invite, or it's a joint effort, we invite my in-laws over, and we always play the new Jackbox. We always have a lot of fun. This one isn't the best of the 10, but it's still worth getting for one game in particular, which I will get to momentarily. But the first game is TKO 2, if you've played TKO on whichever pack that one was on originally. It's the same thing, like it's literally no different. It's a little bit of a cop-out. Part of the reason I'm a little disappointed in this one, because it's not a new game at all. The only new addition is that you can do tank tops and long sleeve shirts. That's it. It's just visual.
That one. Okay, I remember that game.
Yeah, it's TKO. You have to draw a shirt, come up with a slogan, and playing with my in-laws, the the male genitalia with the inappropriate slogan always wins.
Yeah.
In-laws are
Always.
great, of course, right? The next game is Time Jinx, which is a trivia game, which we are not fans of because I'm really good at trivia, but they
Ooh.
aren't. So this one, it's time-based. So it'll give you questions like, what year was Hunger Games published? And it'll give you a range like 1950 through 2020. And you just type in what year you think Hunger Games was published, and the closer you are, the more points you get, and etc. So that's that one.
2008.
Oh, I don't know that one. I was just
No,
making
wait.
that question up. That wasn't a real
No,
question.
20 Hunger Games was 2012. I literally just looked this up the other day.
Was that the movie or the book? That seems.
Oh, the book? Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah,
The movie was
yeah.
2012.
But that's what that one is.
Who
You
cares
just
about the
gotta
book?
gotta know your dates. It'll have like wars and world events on there. So that one's fine if you're into history. Fixie
I like that.
Text is the next one. This one would be a blast if you're all drinking. But I don't think this is a sober game, if that makes sense. Basically, you'll get a text conversation, and then as a group, you have to come up with the response, and then the other team votes on how good, which is subjective, your response is. So you can pick like different categories. So you'll get like default like, "Yo, bro, I saw a UFO," and then the response is, "Oh my gosh, what did you?" And then it's up to your group to fill in the blank. That one could be a lot of fun if you had
Mad Lib.
a silly whimsy group with it. Yeah, it's not one word though. Like it's the whole rest of the conversation you're mad libbing. That's a good way to thinking of. I'm gonna skip the fourth game. This is what made me think of this. Actually, you guys were talking about headbanging. Well, not really. Do Do Re Mi is. I don't even know what one of the games would be called. But like the Guitar Hero, the rhythm games that are on your phone, where you have the things lined up at the bottom and you got to tap them. It's that.
Like the piano tiles?
No, just like, I don't know. I'm gonna hold up my phone. No one, whatever. So you'll have like button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the bottom, and then you just gotta tap with the rhythm. Someone knows what game I'm talking about. Is it called
I
Tap
see what
Tap?
you're
It might
saying.
actually
Yeah.
be called Tap Tap something.
Aw, kitty.
It's like that, but there's a
I
bunch
think it
of
is.
different songs and different instruments, and you can pretty much do that. I think that one's like up to 8 people with different instruments. So, in-laws were not a fan of that one because rhythm play is not their forte. But if you have a group of people that are into that, that one could be fun. So that's what made me think of it. The whole reason I decided to bring up Jackbox 10, and truthfully, the only game in this one that will get real rotation when we have people over is Hypnotorious. Is honestly, it's a blast. So the premise is you are being hypnotized that you are an object. Like L will be a vacuum cleaner. I will be a toaster. Foof will be
I
a
suck.
shower head, and Koosh will be a TV. I don't know. And then it'll ask you questions like, "What would you do on your first date?" And you have to answer them from the perspective of the item you are. But the catch is, there's going to be one person in the group who's like an outlier, but they don't know they're the outlier. So the point is to find the one that's different. So like in the example I did, I don't even remember what I said. But toaster, refrigerator, Xbox, and shower head, I think, right? Just based
Close
on that,
enough.
the Xbox would be the outlier because the other 3 are, for personal needs and food and hygiene or whatever. And then the Xbox is a different category. So you answer the questions as absurdly as you can, and then you have to find which one is different. And it's just a lot of fun in the group because you get to answer from the perspective of a toaster or, raving lunatic. So that one's a lot of fun.
There needs to be like, and there might be, I don't know Jackbox well enough. There needs to be like a game room type game where you just have all your Jackbox games all in one area.
That would be
That'd be nice.
fantastic.
So you don't have to swap in between.
Yeah.
Because I have 9 of the 10 installed. And every time they're over, we always play Jackbox.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's what we do when my in-laws
Which
are
one
over. We
was
play
it?
Jackbox. But it's annoying. Yes,
Yep.
which one is that? We want to play the,
Yep.
the pointing one.
Mhm.
That's, is it 3? No. 4? No.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like they boot up instantly. Like, it's a couple minutes in between. That would be fantastic. Some kind of hub. Now that there's 50 different games.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
yeah, it just needs to be a game room. It's just like, oh, okay, you unlock Jackbox 10. You have access
for
to
sure.
these 5 games or whatever. Because I know we've done that also, where we've wanted to sit there and swap in between games. It's like, crap, we just want to play this one game. Where's it at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jackbox 10. I don't know. It's a mini review, I guess. Definitely wait for a sale on this one unless you're a hardcore Jackbox group like we are. Um, Worth it
How much
for
is it?
35. This one's pricier. I think they usually launch at
They're
30. This one's
$35.
35. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we're gonna get
I didn't know they were that much.
we're gonna get a lot of fun out of Hypnotorious. So that's the best of the five. Um, and then TKO is fun in short bursts, but the other three, not for us. So personally, I would wait for a sale.
What was that one game that we played? Rift Tracks, I think it was called.
Where you get the
Where it
movie
had
clips.
like old movie clips.
Rift Tracks is awesome too.
That was fun too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But
Yeah, grab that one too, X.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Where were we at? I don't even remember. You talked about Lord of Click.
We were doing the game
And then
showcase, and you
Headbangers.
just made me think with rhythm games. I was like, "Ooh, there's
Yeah,
a
no,
rhythm.
I was trying to
There's
like
a rhythm
who
game
hasn't
in
gone
Jackbox."
yet.
Yeah.
All right, well in that case, Nate, it's your turn.
All right. I am going to talk about a game that was in game preview for a long time with no achievements. And then it got achievements about 2.5 months ago, and it is leaving Game Pass in the next week. So mid-month, this month, it is leaving Game Pass. And it is called, well, first let me say, I'm not sure how many French listeners we have. I'm not aware of any. But I'm going to murder this, and I apologize. But I believe it is pronounced Lapin, but in American, it's Lapin.
Lapin.
Or Lapin. But in French, it's very different. It's very nice sounding, Lapin, which means, of course, rabbit. In this game, you play as a rabbit. That makes the
clip I'm watching make much more sense.
Yes. This is a very pretty game. It looks hand-drawn. In times, it looks like a Miyazaki film. There is a lot of story, actually, to this game. There's a lot of conversations, and that may be a turnoff to you. But if you like platformers, if you like kind of tricky puzzle platformers, this might be up your alley. Like I said, it's a very pretty game. They're very cute animations from these bunnies. These bunnies have different personalities. I think there's, I want to say six bunnies for the most part. You play as one whose name is Lieb, Lieb, I believe. Now, I'm sure I've murdered that. I'm sure it's very pretty, and it doesn't sound like that. Yeah, exactly. So it's very sing-songy, and I just call her Lieb. So yeah, and the game sort of seems like it doesn't. On your first playthrough, it sort of feels like you don't really know where you're going and that you're not really exploring the maps correctly. But once you get a feel for it, the game is fairly linear, and you kind of get a sense for it. That like, oh, here's the main path, and here is a side path up to the top for one screen only, just to get a collectible. And sometimes that side path might be 2 screens long or whatever, but that's very rare. Typically, it's just one screen off to this corner. There's a jump that looks like I should be able to make, or some sort of pathway up there that I should be able to make, but I don't quite know how yet. And I kind of have to do something tricky on the screen to actually get up there. And some of them are very easy, but sometimes those little hidden corners are pretty tricky, and they require you to use a mechanic maybe you haven't learned yet, but then once you get farther in the game, it's something you'll be like, oh, well, clearly I could do that there. One of the things, for instance, there are these little bubble squares. And when you hit the bubble square, it's a little bit like a bumper in Bumper Pool or in, a pinball, pinball table. Yeah. And when you hit that bumper, it'll just bounce you off. Well, if you hit the corner of it, it'll launch you to the side. And then sometimes you'll have to like launch up over it, come back around, and then hit it on the side to bounce out laterally. And that's just the sort of stuff that you'll kind of figure out. And sometimes when you do that, you feel like a genius. You feel like, a major league gamer pulling off some of these maneuvers that I'm sure are not that difficult. But you do feel really smart, genuinely smart when you solve these and when you complete these more difficult games or more difficult little sections that you have to do. The game does a good job of saving your progress. It saves every screen. So once you go to the next screen, boom, you've got a save. Now that's something that you're going to want to take advantage of. Because, and here's the bad news, this game, for whatever reason, kind of makes stupid design decisions. And stupid in that they make you feel like, or they make you end up having to play the game a second or a third time because you did something out of order that you had no idea you're doing out of order. Or you could have gotten 2 achievements by doing something out of order. Let me give you an example. Very early in the game, you meet a bird, and the bird wants this medal, this coin, and you find it. And if you find that and you go and talk to the bird, because clearly that's what you're supposed to do. If you do that, you lock yourself out of an achievement 2 chapters later. You have to get the coin, talk to the bird, but don't give the coin the bird. Go 2 more levels, save scum, throw that coin in a like a fountain, get that achievement, revert back to your save scum, then level select, go back and get the achievement from the first thing. Now, if you want to be efficient, but what they should have done is just let you chapter select, go get that thing. You've got the coin, go get the coin again, throw it in the account. That's what they should have done to make it, better. It just feels cheap. It feels like it was done for no reason, and it just doesn't feel good. Which is the only negative thing I had to say about this game. It is a beautiful game. I'm really enjoying my time with it. I'm enjoying the platforming. It's rewarding. But this design decision to kind of lock you out from getting these achievements that you didn't even know were there. Now, I don't like to look at the achievement list and study and flowchart and plan before I go to play a game. I don't like to do that. I like to play it naturally. And I've already forced myself into a second playthrough for sure. Because there are some things where you have to do like a chase sequence. And chase sequences in these platformers can be really fun. They can be really nerve-wracking, nail biting, and just fist pumping, just like we were talking about with the question tonight. Like, these sequences can feel really good when you nail them. The first time you get to it, there's no way in hell you're going to get it. There's just no way. There's no way you're going to do 5-6 screens perfectly when you don't know the route, and there's a weasel chasing you, and sometimes he intercepts you midair if you don't pause at the right. There's no way. And the fact that you didn't do it on your first try means that's a whole nother playthrough, and you have to save scum right before you go into that room so that you can keep trying, and then get it right without having to play the game over and over and over again. So it's just these design decisions that just kind of, for achievement hunters, just feels kind of like a bad move. Like they really kind of waste our time making us play this game again. And when you have to play it again, skipping the conversations is a little bit annoying. Every time you get into a conversation, apparently you can skip them. I did not know this. You can go into the start menu, or you can hit the start button and then choose skip dialogue. But then the next time you continue the dialogue, you have to skip again. And so that's it's a little frustration. Once again, let me just point out, love this game, love the platforming, love the challenge. This is a minor nit, but I have to stress it because it just kind of ruins. It's just, they were perfect, they were doing great, and then they just tripped. And that part just kind of stinks. But I am really enjoying this. I really recommend it. There's not a whole lot of time. Like, you got to play it right away, or you have to buy it, and it's like $20. But you'll get your 20% discount, as Fufu will tell you, because it's on Game Pass. But yeah, it's a really great game. It's a sad thing that it got achievements 2.5 months ago, and it's leaving 3 months after getting achievements. That's kind of a bummer. It would have been nice if it stuck around for 6 months, because a lot of people didn't know that it even had achievements before it was going away. They just saw the announcement that it was leaving, and they're like, what's this new game that's been around for months and months and months, but only just recently got achievements? So there you go. Lapin, Lapin, and really enjoy it. When the price comes down and you have time to play it multiple times, because, the way they've designed it, you're going to have to do that unless you're being really careful. I should also mention, Wu wrote a quick kind of like outline of the way to play this with where to save scum and then continue on and backtrack and do all that. So you only have to play it one time through. That's cool. He did a really good job of making sure that there's not a whole lot of spoilery stuff in there if you're concerned about that. I still don't want to do that, though. Like, it kind of bums me out that you need to do that. But if you want to just play optimally, especially if you only want to get it done in the next week, that does exist. It's in the forums. It's not an actual solution. You have to go to the forums to check that out. And there you go. La Paul.
The way
Yeah.
you were describing those design decisions gave me flashbacks to the what we hate in guides or walkthroughs conversation from a couple of weeks ago. Like, I can totally see the guide being, you'll have a coin in your inventory and you can give it to the bird. Don't do that or you'll have to start over. Damn it, I just gave him the coin. Like, that seems like a game where the guide could set you up for failure just if it's written poorly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, here's a bird. Here's a coin with a picture of a bird on it. That obviously goes together.
Yeah.
No, not
It
if you
looks
want to.
like-
Unless you're gonna play it multiple times.
Awu is one of 9 people to complete this.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to bring it up.
He's
Almost
got-
no one has completion on it.
He's got 22 hours in it. Ish.
Yeah, he learned the hard way apparently.
He's a master. He's the platformer master.
Well, for what it's worth, of the other 8 people who have completed it, there's 35, 30, 30, 38, 28, 25, and then he's the lowest at 22. So,
Doesn't surprise me.
yeah, no. If the platforming is challenging, it clearly was not a problem for him.
Yeah, I watched the trailer.
It's a little bit challenging,
I said,
yeah.
no, thank you.
Doesn't
I will
look
say,
easy.
so far,
Side.
and I'm only halfway through the game. The platforming is doable. It's not impossible. Other people, including Awu, have likened it to Celeste. Now, I haven't played Celeste. I know that's why haven't you played Celeste? Well, I just haven't.
Even I've played
There's a
Celeste.
bajillion games out. Sorry, there's a bajillion games. I mean, I've got a couple achievements in it. I haven't played it. So I haven't really committed time to it and gotten into the platforming, the really meat of the platforming yet in Celeste. But yeah, people who have played both said that this has got a lot of that DNA in it. So if you like Celeste, maybe you want to check this out. There you go.
Wow. Game Pass games does not have a lot of starters. I only got 1,900. Usually, Game
Yeah.
Pass games have,
Well,
several
the-
tens of
It
thousands.
probably
funny thing about
never
it-
showed up in like a new to Game Pass if it just got the achievements 6 months later. So I think a lot of people just
And if you
don't
played
know
it,
about it.
if you had played it and then didn't launch it after it got the achievements, you didn't get the auto pops. So I played for I think an hour and a half. Then it got achievements. I loaded it up again after the update, and boom! I just got it was wonderful. I'm not gonna lie. I just love seeing that cascade of achievements because this game, you know me. This game has 94 achievements. So I got like a screen of 10 or 20 achievements, and it was just beautiful.
Your phone is just going off.
Yeah, I love that. I just love that. And this game has 94, so I'm really liking it. And there you go. Just that one nit.
definitely.
That one nit.
Definitely a Nate game. Art style wise, anyway. All right. Well, in that case, let's go on to our final game, X.
All
What
right.
do you want to talk about?
So the last time I was on, my brother and I were playing Halo. We decided in Discord that we're going to move into Saints Row next, but we were like, let's take a little tangent, a little detour. So we fired up Evil West, which not a whole lot of people have played or are familiar with. Only 13,000 on TA. Koosh, I see you are one of them, as is Rocker. So I will pick your brain in a minute. But since most people have
Okay.
not played it, it's I'm gonna call it a beat 'em up. It's classified as a third-person shooter on TA, which is entirely inaccurate. You have a gun, but if it's to reference Devil May Cry again, it's kind of like calling Devil May Cry a third-person shooter. It's not. It's very much about the melee combat. Evil West is the same. So the premise, in a non-spoilery way, is it's set in an alternate 19th century America, and vampires are everywhere. So they gave me like Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter vibes. It is completely ridiculously over the top. Just the story and the gameplay itself and the finishers and the executions and the weapons you get. It's absurd, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. And it's made by Flying Wild Hog, who did the Shadow Warrior reboot series, if you're familiar with them and just their sort of brand of ridiculousness, for lack of a better term. So we've been playing this, and the co-op is pretty well done, actually. You have to do the tutorial single player, but then you can pull up mission 2, but really mission 1, if you think of the tutorial as mission 0. You can hop right into co-op from there, and your partner can design their own build because there's, talents and skills and perks to unlock, so they can
Naturally.
so they can do that. It's pretty much, they're like sort of your shadow, and that they're very much playing in your game, but they are their own custom built character, which is nice. Because I know in other games, second player hops in and what am I supposed to do? So it is fully made. Co-op is done very well in that sense. I don't want to talk about the story too much, but you punch vampires and then you can shoot them. Again, not a third-person shooter. You get a Scorpion-style "get over here" sort of lightning tether, which is a lot of fun. It is a little repetitive, and we're about halfway through the game, and sort of its cracks are starting to show. So the end boss for mission 2 becomes sort of a mid-boss where there's 3 of them by mission 5. And then by mission 7, that same boss, there's just 20 of them at a time on the stage. So it sort of artificially inflates the playtime just by throwing in repetitious enemies, for lack of a better way of putting that. And it's not even like, oh, but you're stronger and you do more damage, so they go down quicker. That's not really the case. It took you, 3 minutes to kill him as the boss in mission 2. It still takes you like a minute and a half to take him down as a regular enemy in mission 7, but now there's 5 of them. So the fighting gets a little repetitive. It's still a lot of fun. It's just a little repetitive, and I think some enemy variety would have really made the game a lot better, to be blunt.
It looks like just a dumb fun game. I just watched a couple of clips.
Yeah, it very much is. That's what I was saying. It's just stupidly over the top. The voice acting is campy as hell, but simultaneously well done.
I didn't listen to it, but it looks like it
The
is.
voice actors had a lot of fun recording their lines, to put it that way. It's not the best voice game you've ever heard, but man, did they have fun doing it. It's not bad. I'm enjoying it. It's not worth $60. I will say that. We got it the last time it was on sale, and we split it with Game Share, so I think we paid 20 each, which is totally fine. It's definitely worth $20. But yeah, it's good but not great. And like I said, the cracks are starting to show because we're about halfway, and we've sort of seen just the enemies. It just sort of becomes not quite bullet sponge, if that makes sense, just sort of more of a horde style. Instead of kill these 3 guys, now it's just kill these 30 guys, and when you kill them, 30 more are going to come in. And it's just really, some of the fights are definitely overstaying their welcome. But
Just repetitive.
yeah, it's fun. It is, for what it is. Koosh, I said I was going to pick
TA
your
has it.
brain. I know you didn't get very far. Oh, what were you going to say, Foof? Go ahead.
Oh, you were talking about how good it is. TA, there's 220 votes, and they got it at 3.84. So like, that's a good rating.
Yeah, it's
a
totally
decent amount of people
respectable. That's what I
rate it.
mean. It's good, but not great. Simple as that. So, Koosh, my question for you, I know you didn't get very far just looking at the achievements. How concerned... Actually, I don't even remember when you played it. Have you played it recently?
No,
No, about a
recently.
year
It's
ago.
been
Okay.
months.
How concerned were you for your right bumper? I know that's random if you haven't played it in a year, but...
It did use an interesting setup for the bumpers and for the buttons. I think I might have mapped things differently because I just didn't like that. So I think immediately within 15, 30 minutes, I remapped stuff and learned it to use face buttons for for all that stuff, those types of actions.
Did
like
the same thing as well. That's sort of how I want to end my little showcase about this is, the game is what it is. That's fine. The control scheme they use is terrible, like truly unintuitive, and it just doesn't feel good. So your main two buttons are the bumpers, not the triggers, but your bumpers.
That's
And
weird.
yeah, it's I don't know, maybe it works better on a PlayStation controller with the R1 and L1 being a little more like even with R2 and L2, but on Xbox it does not work well at all. So you're going to be constantly mashing your right bumper button. I guess I don't need to actually click them. My mic's probably picking that up. So you're constantly mashing your right bumper, which is awkward to say the least. And then I'm always worried about bumpers breaking because the only controller issues I've ever had were bumpers going. And then, I don't know, 3-4 missions into the game, your lightning tether, which is crucial to your combos, is left bumper. So the game is, you'll use the face buttons, but it's 75% mashing those bumpers. And besides feeling awkward, I just really don't like it for my controller and its, long-term well-being. So I also remapped them. I just switched the bumpers and the triggers because I don't mind mashing the triggers. That's fine. So that is my little bit of advice. And I'm glad you agree with me there. So I don't think I'm crazy. My brother thinks I'm crazy. He has no problem with it. But just the controls are very unintuitive. It doesn't feel good. So if you do give it a shot, switch it around.
At the time I played it, it reminded me of another game that made that same decision to like put these actions that I feel work better as face buttons, but I'll put them on the bumpers. I can't remember exactly what that was, but I think I did it for both games. I think I immediately said, nope, don't like it, and changed them to the face buttons. And I can't remember if this game did a good job of remembering that with like the interface, like when it told you to do moves, like if it on the screen. I can't remember if it showed you the correct, the remap button or the original button. I just don't.
I did it right through the app, the Controller Lab. I just made a profile on my Elite.
Oh, you don't
just switching the bumpers.
I can't remember if I did it in game or if I did it on the Elite.
Gotcha. Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's great. It's a great game. I enjoyed it too. I mean, it's like Red Dead Revolver. What if Red Dead Revolver, but also Bulletstorm and vampires? and that's like the perfect combination. And it's just
Jonah
dumb
Hex.
fun. Yeah, it's just dumb fun.
Yeah, that was Evil West. Since I haven't said the name in a while,
All right.
Again, I'll give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Like it's fun. It's good, not great. That's where I'm going to leave it.
I might have missed you talking about the collectibles. Did you talk about the collectibles?
Oh, I
and
did
how
not
they
mention
are
the collectibles at all.
Okay,
actually,
yes.
Good comment. Yeah, their achievements exist for finding all of the collectibles, but you kind of actually need to find them. They don't. Well, that's not true. They don't contribute to the main story. They give some backstory, some of the lore. That's fine. But then the important one is there's money hidden throughout every level. And that's how you buy your upgrades. You get a couple of them naturally through gameplay, but the upgrades are pretty much crucial to not dying as you get into these just hordes of enemies. And if you don't take the time to explore and find those money upgrade or the dollar bucks, because they have a dollar sign, but they're called bucks, so we call them dollar bucks. Yeah, you definitely need to find them. So it does not even like encourage exploration in that sense, it necessitates exploration. So I'm very glad you said that because I didn't bring that up at all.
But it also did this thing where like if you happen, okay, you go left or go right. And well, if I go left, I jump down this little ledge, that's okay, right? You're going to let me go back up, right? And if you went the wrong way and you didn't explore and you went down that little ledge, well, guess what? You're doing a second playthrough. That kind of bugged me because at the time that I played it, there was not a chapter select, I think, and it wouldn't let you get it. And maybe things have changed. But when I played it right when it came out, and that kind of annoyed me, which might have been one of the reasons I didn't go right back to it. I totally want to, though. I mean, this game is fun. So
okay, yeah, there is a chapter select.
But yeah.
And it does show you the collectibles that you have for each level. So you know exactly how many pickups and dollar bucks you have.
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
So,
yep,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's not as big as a concern now, or maybe I just wasn't aware of that back then.
That aspect, I actually didn't even consider would be a problem. So playing in co-op to advance the story direction, like you said, left is the collectible and right is the story advancement. Once you go right, you can't go back left. So in co-op, you both need to be on the right side to jump down that ledge. So we've sort of figured out, well, if it's not going to let one of us go, then that's the story beat. So the collectible must be to the left. So that hasn't been a problem for
Gotcha.
us in co-op. But yes, that would be super frustrating in single player.
I swear it was that exact same situation. It was like over to the right is a little nook, over to the right is a little ledge, and I didn't know, and I went, oh, yeah, I can get back up that. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Yep. Yeah, good comment. Yeah, thanks for chiming in.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Evil West. It
Evil West.
actually doesn't look bad.
No, again, it's a lot
It
of
looks
fun.
like it also would be a good Game Pass game.
It would be a killer Game Pass game. Like I said, it's a little repetitive, but it's so much fun. And the co-op makes it a blast, for real. If you can play it in co-op, highly recommend playing
Oh,
it.
it's only a year old. Yeah, that would have been a good Game Pass game. Unless it already was. There's been a couple of West games I can't remember.
No, this one has not been.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, let's get into some sales. Man, there's a lot of them. Nate, what would you like to recommend?
Really quickly, Area 86. I believe I've mentioned this before. It's $3 down from 10. It is a puzzle platformer, 4 to 5 hours with a guide. Come on, you're not going to figure it out in 4 to 5 hours. Some of the puzzles are devilishly complicated or at least obtuse. So you will kind of want to look up a solution. At the time I played, it was kind of hard to find those. I think people have been answering them. I think also there's Steam answers out there. So it's an easier completion now than it was before. It's a fun little puzzle game. Check it out. It might be for you. Next up, Super Perils of Baking. I'm going to buy it just for the name alone. It's $3.50 down from 10. It's a platformer. It's an old school NES style platformer. If you don't know what that means, think like, actually, I guess that's Sega technically. Bubsy. I talk about Bubsy all the time. It kind of reminds me of that. Next up, Cube 10th Anniversary Edition, $9 down from 20. This is a puzzle platformer, Portal-like. Next up, Cube 2 Ultimate Edition, $12 down from 26. This is a puzzle platformer, Portal 2-like. Maybe, I don't know, but they're both kind of like those Portal 3D puzzles where you're manipulating the environment. And this one uses colored cubes. So hey, look at that, the title, Cube. And lastly, Risk of Rain 1+2 bundle. This is $7.50 down from 30. I've heard nothing but good things about this game. I have not played it. I own it. I would like to play it. It's a platformer roguelike in terms of Risk of Rain 1. And Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person shooter roguelike. Like I said, everything I've heard, this is a really good series. So that's a great price for 2 games.
Elle, do you have anything you want to recommend?
I mean, your favorite game, Foof, Pixel Gladiator, is 74 cents. You heard me right.
Oh, get that.
It's 2000 gamer score. I mean, it's
I didn't see that. Yeah, buy that. Dude, that game's fun.
Yeah, you actually like that one. So that's a decent,
I did.
easy gamer score game.
That was a lot of fun.
You guys have a lot to say, so I'll pass beyond that one.
All right. Well, I'll go next. So, boy, I wish I had money this week because apparently they produced a sale specifically to target my wallet. There are a lot of simulator games on sale right now, management and stuff like that. I'll go out a little bit out of order on my list. So first game I want to mention is specifically Construction Simulator 2. 1, 2, and 3 are all on sale. I point out 2 just because it's the cheapest. It's $5.99. Construction Simulator 3 is $7.49, and Construction Simulator 1 is $34.99. Why that's so much more expensive than the others, I don't exactly know. I've never played these, but like Construction Simulator, that sounds like fun. Well, for me, not for Nate. But yeah, let's see. Next up is I'm going to recommend is Aquarium Land. Okay, so this is also the other thing real quick. a lot of these I haven't even heard of. I didn't even know they were a thing, and now they're really on sale. Aquarium Land, usually $4.99. It's $3.99. I don't know. It's an aquarium simulation management game. 3 stars, 4 to 5 hours. Almost nobody has played it. Sounds interesting to me. I like that kind of stuff. Animal Shelter Simulator. I don't know. It's a little bit different. I don't really do animals too much, but Zoo Tycoonish. So I figured I'd give it a shot. It is $8.99 down from $14.99. TA once again because they're 3-star, 56 achievements. Mech Mechanic Simulator. Now that sounds awesome. I love me some mech games, and now you put a simulator to it. All right.
Just to me, this one sounds like they've taken all the fun out of mech games.
Hey, I love my simulator games. I will say I don't like car mechanic simulator. So if this is sort of like that, I'm out. I didn't actually look that much into it. I just saw the name and saw the price, which is $6.99 down from $19.99. Doesn't have a time estimate. 31 achievements, 3.17 on TA rating. Next one is, and I think I've talked about this one before, Mega Aquarium. This has come on sale a couple of different times. I keep wanting to buy it and just haven't pulled the trigger yet. It is $4.79 down from $23.99. 20 to 25 hour game, 3.62 rating. So this is a little bit better. I'm not done yet. I got 2 more. And then we have another one I've never heard of, but it sounds interesting. Sweet Bakery Tycoon. Actually, that sounds like a mobile game, really. 8 to 10 hour completion, 3.5 stars. $3.49 down from $4.99. And the last one, I promise. Once again, this is kind of like Mech Mechanic Simulator. It's called Tank Mechanic Simulator. So everything is getting a mechanic simulator nowadays, apparently. $6.99 down from $19.99. This is a 35 to 40 hour completion, and TA has it at 3.5 star, and that has 55 achievements. So, yeah, the mechanic simulators, if they're like car mechanic simulator, I don't exactly enjoy that because it was a little bit too tedious, and it was also very much like work because that's what I do for a living. So I don't really want to do that. But if it's a little more arcadey video gamey, if that makes sense, more than real life, super intricate, I'm down. By the way, I like the aquarium ones. So I think I'm going to get them.
I agree with
There's
you.
so many more. Just look at the list. There's so many. I decided not to talk about a lot of them that I could have.
Yeah, Fug said in chat there's a sim sale going on. I didn't see the sale itself, but it is a thing. It's the
I
sim sale.
assumed there was just by looking at this list. It's glorious week for Nate.
I agree with you on the realism aspect. Car Mechanic Simulator was a lot of fun, except for the 39 volts to redo a transmission. Like, that was a little overkill. I get it's accurate.
Try
It's probably
doing that
even
for a
low
living.
for real life, but yeah, like, just let me.
And they're different lengths, so you have to put them in the proper spot.
Yep.
Welcome to my life. I hate engineers.
And then first you had to haggle with the guy to buy the car. It was ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Car buying simulator. Amazing. Sign here. Sign here. And here.
My God, can you imagine having to trace your signature with the right thumbstick?
Come on. You got to throw in those mats on the car. Come on. Throw them in.
But yeah, that's all I got. There's a lot more I could have talked about, but decided not to. X, what do you want to talk about?
All right, I have 2 games.
Or recommend.
I will keep mine short and sweet. So the first one is Plague Inc. Evolved. Various
so good
podcasters have talked about it. I personally have talked about it. If you haven't played it,
same.
You're missing out. It's so much fun. It's such a good game. If you're into sort of that meticulous strategy, even if you're not, you can throw it on easy mode and sort of just do whatever you want. You're almost guaranteed to win on easy mode. If you do want to go for the achievements, there's 187 of them currently. So there are plenty of little mini objectives and
So
ways to
many.
complete the map and things like that. It's not too much more to say about it because everyone probably knows what it is at this point. But I only have 20 people, or 19, myself included, 19 people on my friends list that have played it, and I feel like a lot more people should have played it. So it's
That's all?
yeah,
That's a surprise.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's not as I don't know what word I'm looking for. Not as popular as I would have
It's
thought.
not like it's a management game, but it's not like super
Yeah,
management.
it's not a simulator. It's not management. TA has it as strategy, which just like Evil West, which actually I already started putting in my ticket to declassify Evil West as a third-person shooter. Um, but yeah, I mean there is strategy, but it's sort of hard to define in that sense. But the objective is to
It's
make
like a strategy management game.
yeah, the objective, if you don't know, it's make a disease and eradicate humanity. Like your goal is to kill all humans. Like Bender would be so proud of you. So it's $5
It's
twenty
so
four
much fun.
cents down from $14.99. So a pretty good sale. I don't think it's ever gone lower, though I haven't checked that. It goes on sale every once in a while, usually 50% off. So seeing it 66% off is a better sale than usual. The only hang up with this game, it is perfectly completable if you want to put in the time. There's guides for everything if you can't figure it out on your own. There are 3 achievements that are not like literally impossible, but there are 3 achievements that at this point in the game's life are essentially they might as well be impossible. So it is for getting 3 stars with each disease on a certain difficulty on certain scenarios. When the game launched, perfectly doable. But as the game has added title updates, there's no paid DLC, it's all free. As the game has added title updates, it's added
So
new
much.
viruses, and those achievements require you to do it with the new viruses. And these scenarios, again, not literally impossible, but damn near impossible to get 3 stars with one of the new title update viruses. And since it is digital only, it's not even like you can, pop the disc in and play offline. It's if you have the game and you've updated it in the past, honestly, probably 6 years at this point, you have those new viruses making these 3 achievements, again, might as well call them impossible. So that's the only hang up is you are pretty unlikely to get the full completion. But other than those 3, everything is very easily doable through natural gameplay or with a guide.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it really is. Again, I think it's like $5 normally on mobile, or it might even be free, and then you pay to unlock, whatever. But it's absolutely worth $5 if you haven't played it. Absolutely worth $5. So that's Plague Inc. Evolved. And then the other game I want to talk about, this one I don't have much to say. I'm just going to pick this one up because I like the genre. Project Wingman has been on sale several times, but I've never been around to talk about it. So it is a flight sim in the vein of Ace Combat or Hawks, not Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is very much an arcade style um, flight sim. I can't even call it a flight sim. What do we call that? Aerial combat, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, aerial combat.
Yeah, there we go. So that's what it
Dogfighting.
is. It's half off. It's $12.50 down from $25, and it looks like it's just pretty much a
Mermaid fights
straightforward
to the
single
death.
player campaign. 21
Hmm.
campaign missions, each with an achievement, and then the rest look to be just sort of incremental upgrades. So nothing that's going to take you too terribly long. It's a 40 to 50 hour completion, and it looks like a pretty good spread of do everything the game has to do. And there's nothing grindy, kill a million enemies or anything like that. So that's Project Wingman, and again, just an Ace Combat, Tom Clancy's Hawks, just an aerial combat.
All right.
It's like
Well,
Ace recommended Graveyard Keeper. I know Kronos loves that game. You didn't mention that, right?
no, I was going to, but decided not to.
Go ahead, read it. I'll read it. Graveyard Keeper 1750 has all DLC included. It's the Last Journey edition. I just wanted to say that. And
Yeah, that's not a bad price.
reminds
I played a
me-
little bit of Graveyard Keeper.
Is it like Stardew Valley or anything like that? I got that
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, it's similar to that.
Yeah.
I haven't played enough of it to be able to like review
No way
it
to
or.
lose.
But I mean, $17.50. It comes with the base game and all the DLC, so like that's actually a pretty good price because I think there's 3 or 4 DLC, something like that. I don't know.
Those are into that kind of thing.
I just want to add in real quick. I was unaware entirely, so thank you for that, Neo. Plague Inc. One of the DLCs is a $4 DLC. All the others have been free title updates. This one is a $4 paid DLC for The Cure. Not the band, The Cure, but The Cure for the Plague. So, thank you for that update. I honestly totally forgot that one was paid.
All right. Well, we have some Game Pass news, and I assume all this has been on Game Passable this past week or this coming week. I don't know. I can't remember. Whenever the last time Nate and Frame did one, everything runs together now. A couple of games that are out now. This one sounds like a X game, Thirsty Suitors.
It sure does.
Action adventure game. I know nothing about it. It just sounds like something X would enjoy. Published by Annapurna. And it's the first game from Outer Loop.
I watched the trailer of it before we came on, and there's like skateboarding, and I didn't.
Yeah, by all accounts, the name is sort of misleading. It sounds like a dating sim.
Yeah,
it is not a dating sim.
No.
It's not.
No.
It sounds like it.
It sure does.
I think there is a little bit of romance in it, but yeah, it's not a straight dating sim. It's a bunch of things.
Like the tagline is "Disappoint your parents." That's what it said in the trailer. So it sounds like you're rebellious girls doing stuff.
Okay then.
Fun.
Also out now is Football Manager 2024. I'm sure we're all dying to play that. And then we have RoboQuest. We have RoboQuest, a first-person shooter roguelike. Oh, excuse me.
Terrible.
Which those two things together sounds great. Kind of like the one game that's leaving. I just
Reborn
lost.
Yeah.
Reborn? Something Reborn.
Left last cycle. Yeah. Gunfire Reborn.
Gunfire. Thank you. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Totally was awesome. That game was good too. A couple more games that are coming out on November 9th. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name.
So that
so
one,
many of these Like a Dragon games. I know nothing
so
about
the
them.
last time I was on, we were talking about it's Yakuza, and then they had Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then they dropped the Yakuza branding, so all the games are Like a Dragon. But now this one, it's Like a Dragon Gaiden, which is a spin-off series. The naming conventions are genuinely terrible. Like, Sega, I don't know what you're thinking or what your marketing department is thinking. So it's the renaming of the Yakuza franchise, but a spin-off of that. But you would never know that if you didn't know that.
Somehow they're worse than Microsoft's naming.
Yeah, genuinely, I don't know. I'm not big into the franchise, but it's unnecessarily confusing.
Next game is Dungeons 4, a strategy management real-time game. 3 words I like to put together, so that sounds like it's up my alley. And then we have Wild Hearts. It's coming from because of EA Play, an action adventure. It's 80 to 100 hours. So
it's Monster Hunter.
Yes.
It's just EA Monster Hunter
Basically
instead of Capcom Monster Hunter. By all accounts, it's quite good if you're into that.
Oh, well, in that case, that sounds great. I love Monster Hunter. Yeah. On November 13th, we have Spirit Tea, management game. That's Spritzy.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a Spirit Tea.
Yeah, there's a Spirit Tomb.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a Spirit Tomb. There's a Spritzy. Continue on. We also have Coral Island, which is a simulation game.
Poltergeist is what I was thinking. Sorry to interrupt again. Poltergeist.
Very different. November 17th, we have Persona 5 Tactica. Tactics Persona. Sounds great. And November 28th, we have Roller Dome, which I don't have any information on that, but is that like a roller derby game?
It is a roller derby shooter. So you regain ammo. Yeah, you regain ammo by doing fancy tricks and such. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's.
I'll try that.
A PC. I think it was a PC game. I don't know if it was on PlayStation. This is now coming to Xbox and possibly also PlayStation. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I'll definitely give that a shot. And then leaving Game Pass on the 15th, we have Coffee Talk, which I believe L is the one I talked about on level 134. If you want to go hear what he has to say about it. It's a visual novel, so who actually cares?
Yeah, that was sort of a stretch to call a visual. I mean, it literally is a visual novel, but it's much more interactive than the genre typically.
Make coffee, all right? Coffee. And you talk.
And tea.
And tea and lattes.
I got my coffee right here with some pumpkin spice in it.
Keep going.
All right, you distracted me. We have Exapunks, which is a puzzle game coming on the PC.
These are leaving.
Did I say coming? I meant leaving. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Song, Metroidvania platformer. Words. 15 to 20 hours. That's leaving Cloud Console and PC. Then we have Gungrave Gore, leaving on all three, Cloud Console and PC. Third-person shooter. I brought this up on level 227. If you like Evil West, you'll probably like this. Another dumb fun game. Football Manager 2023 is obviously leaving because we got 24. Who cares? Lapin. Nate talked about this. That's leaving on the 15th. And then we have Townscaper. It's a baby game. Just go do it real quick. It takes
But it's a good baby
20
game,
minutes.
It's not one of those garbage baby games. It's a good baby game.
It was boring AF.
It's a good baby game.
What's your baby?
And I think L was the one that brought this up, or maybe it was Corey on level 188. It's been way too long ago. I don't know.
Me.
I just says level 188. Thank you, Nate, for putting that there. It was probably L that brought
I
it
didn't
up.
go back and listen, and those ones we didn't document who talked about what. So
Yeah. But yeah, with that, let's get into the gamer tag challenge. And once again, I'll be right back because I got to take the stupid dog out.
So last month, our gamer tag was Scaravese, and the wild card game was any new achievement or previous completion in the simulation or management genre. Bonus was double your pleasure, double your fun. And that was for earning achievements in games with 2 or more letters used twice in the game. We had 16 participants, 119 letters, 10
here we go.
gamer tags were completed, 10 wild cards were provided, 246 bonuses were turned in because I did not put a limit, which I should in the future. Maybe I'll put a 50-point limit in the future. We'll see. Our people who did the most work, we have a Heizo with 25 bonuses. We have Ace with 49 bonuses. And then we have Northern Lass with 95 bonuses, maybe more than almost everybody combined. So congratulations. And not surprisingly, our winner is Northern Lass.
Oh, awesome.
So there you go. Yeah, good job. This month, our gamer tag is Mighty Mango. The mightiest of mangoes. His wildcard game is any new achievement or previous completion in Forza Motorsport. That is Forza Motorsport, not the good one.
Oh boy.
The bad one. Yeah. And the bonus is, if you aren't first, you're last. Earning achievements having to do with coming in first or winning a race. Doesn't necessarily have to say that, but as long as it's clear that that's what's happening, go ahead and include that. That's 1 bonus draw per achievement, limit 1 per game. So you're not going to be, having a whole bunch of like, come first in a dirt race, come first in a street race. No, you get 1 per game. So there you go. We're definitely not going to hit the 50 limit there, right, Ace? So yeah, Mighty Mango. Thank you.
Make sure you join that room, right? There's a channel for it.
Yes, thank you. There is a channel for Gamertag Challenge. It's the GTC followed by the Gamertag of the month, which is Mighty Mango. So you can go ahead and join that there. I
Those are always
believe you
in-
have
are those
to opt
always-
in.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, you do have to opt in the role assignment channel on the Discord, but that'll get you in there. And if you want to play, you want to get a spot on the sheet, you just message me with your email account that you use to look at Google Docs, and we'll lock it down so no one can play shenanigans on your chart, because no one would do that for sure. But this way they can't. El, you want to do our patron drawing?
You spelled my name wrong, as usual.
Yeah, you can't win. You can't win these. Sorry.
Man. All right. The patron drawing is a very long time patron and a very long time friend of the show, and someone who's usually too old to be up during the live shows. And it is no other than, as Elroy would say, Retro Chief. Congratulations, Big Al.
Congratulations. And thank you for being a patron.
Thank you for being a patron.
Not really sure what Fufu's doing, but X, why don't you read his part, and then you can read your part after I read my part.
Ooh,
You know
okay.
what? Oh.
Be a little Koosh sandwich.
Ooh, I like a Koosh
X breading.
sandwich. All right, so completions brag camp time. I said that backwards. Brag camp completions time. Toby Lynn has 350 completed games, and Matthew has 800 completed games. Nicely done.
In streaks, Yinga Garten, currently with 50 days. Johnny Delicious and Death Dealers with 100 days. Wheezy Fuzz with 150 days. RPG Davy with 200 days. Chesno with 300 days. Surf Biscuit with 1,500 days. Seamus McLimey, 2,600 days. Prue with 2,800 days. Matruck with 3,700 days. Mad Eye Pad Eye with 3,900 days. And celebrating their 7-year achievement win streak, Unky Tim Fu.
I say it every time we get these advanced year streaks. That's just wild to me. So bonus grats for me, Unky Tim Fu. That's crazy. 7 years. For gamer score, we only have one this week. Chris Bud 20. 700,000 gamer score. That's it. That's all we got. Earn some gamer score, guys. What are we doing?
It says Bud. Should it be 420?
What shenanigans are you guys doing?
Oh,
Get out the
boy.
pistol whip.
We just went through brag camp.
And
Oh, you're done, Brad Camp?
Almost done.
Almost.
We're in the middle.
All right, well,
Almost.
next time, don't leave the poop and blame the dog. Chewy on Ice is now in the top 20 of the England TA leaderboard for Adventure. Sniped
You mean
by
Scotland?
a girl. All right, Scotland. Sniped by the girl. Top 200 of TA leaderboard for Action Adventure. And Kronos is now in the top 50 of the completed games leaderboard for Card and Board.
Nice.
Bragalicious Brags. Ace, who I believe is with us in chat, I told him we are going to be talking about his completions this week, so I bribed him to stay awake. First of all, November 3rd, he completed Assassin's Creed Mirage, and he gave it a 3 out of
Nice.
5 on.
He's very
on
wrong with
TA.
that rating.
Oh yeah, I want to see you guys have a master debate about it. That,
You
is
are
that the
saving
new-
I am a
that.
cunning
Is that
linguist.
the new one? Is that the new one? That's like the short one?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yeah, it's the new one.
Okay, so yeah, I know a lot of people were getting Ubisoft Plus just to do this one, pretty sure, because it's shortish.
Yeah, easily doable in a month.
Yep.
So, Ace is challenging to a duel. I know
I'll
he
fight
was
you
complaining
back.
about lack of stealth, or that the AI was dumb when you tried to do stealth, so it didn't matter.
I think the biggest thing he brought up that I was like, what? Was they changed the controller scheme. Is that true?
I saw that too.
Yeah, and I talked about that when I did my review of it last
Yeah.
time I was on. It's sort of a combination between the original controls and the new open world controls. And it was a little clunky at first, but you get used to it very quickly. I thought it worked very nicely. I had no problems with it.
Was there no? I didn't get a chance to listen to that yet. Was there no like layout selection that you could do?
I didn't look, to be honest. It was just this
Okay.
button does that, and that works for me. I had no issues with it.
Gotcha.
There's a parry, there's an attack. So it has the sorry, I was reading chat and lost my train of thought. There's the parry and the attack, just like the old school. But then you can sort of go, action combat if you want like the new ones. If you just say screw stealth and strategy. See, I never had that problem. I don't think I had that problem once. Ace.
Read it for the listeners, the audio listeners.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, my fault.
It doesn't
Sorry.
come across so well in the audio. Yep.
And he is absolutely right. Right bumper is if you're sneaking up on someone, the assassinate with the hidden blade button, and also it's the attack button. And he's saying sometimes you would sneak up behind someone and then just whack them with your sword instead of shanking them with the hidden blade. But I don't think I ever had that happen. Or if I did, it only happened once and I don't remember it or whatever. But that was not an issue for me.
So good, X. The
I
stealth
can
king.
hit that button like a pro.
All right, well, interesting to see some varied opinions. On November 6th, Ace completed Maneater, gave it a 4 out of 5, but gave the DLC only a 3 out of 5, saying it was basically more of the same. I guess I could see that, but more of the same was good. Maneater was fun. And rounding out, November 7th, he completed The Last Case of Benedict Fox and gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Some high praise for the Game Pass Vayner.
So he was overlooking the combat, which I got hung up on the combat and knocked it down a little bit more for that. So interesting. I thought it was awesome. I thought it had great style. I enjoyed all the puzzles. I enjoyed the lore. I just felt that the combat was poorly done and like maybe we shouldn't have even done it if you're not going to do it well. That was my concern there. But hey, he loves it. So check it out.
Yeah. What I love is that he's got time to complete 3 fairly large games in a week.
Right.
Good on you, Ace.
Lucky him.
I don't think I would complete all of those in a year. But congratulations. Well done.
GG.
GG. And ZZZs.
All right.
Let's get us out of here so we can do some Forza Motorsport ducky races.
Yep. Sorry. I was actually just getting the ducky races ready to go. At least I thought it was. Nate, if you can get me those names. But yes. Thank you all for listening. As always, all the links, everything is down in the show notes. Wow. Yeah. Long show. It's late. I don't know what to say. My brain is fried after all this. So thank you all for listening. Class is dismissed.
Not
On to some
yet.
ducky races.
Not yet. Top 3 brand
There it
new
is.
Mountain Dew
There it
flavors
is.
released in 2023. Number 3, Caribbean Splash. Number 2, Voodoo 5. And number
Gross.
1, Summer Freeze.
Okay. Gross.
Get out of here.
If Summer Freeze was a Baja, that one's bad.
That-
Caribbean Splash also
Summer
sucks.
Drink
Freeze
tap
is
water.
like the best dew out there. Get out of here.
Ugh. Oh, I don't remember what Summer. Oh wait, no, Summer Freeze. No, that was good. Never mind. That was the Bomb Pop one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No,
the
I thought
rock.
that was the other. The 2 Summer Baja ones
Oh
were bad.
yeah. The purple one was what was it? Passion Fruit Punch. Caribbean Splash though. So good.
Yeah. Class dismissed.
Class
On to
dismissed.
ducky races.
Thanks for listening.
Hello, AH101 and Metroidvania enthusiasts. It is November, which means we got an October Year of the Vayner wrap-up summary to go over. So first off, for the Vayner of the Month, it was rolled as the last case of Benedict Fox. But since Ghost Song is leaving in the middle of the month on the 15th, that is also a bonus Vayner. So get either one of those done this month, preferably Ghost Song before the 15th, so you don't have to buy it. And you'll get those bonus rolls at the end of the year. The October Vayner of the Month was Batbarian, which had 2 completions and was the most completed game. Well, tied with, there were 2 completions as well for Ghost Song and 2 completions for 8 Doors. So all 3 of them were tied for most completions in the month with 2 each. There was only a total of 16 completions across the entire month, so it was pretty slow. With the heavy weight of it being carried by Icefire, who had 9 of those 16 completions. So he had a couple of big milestones, so notable shout-outs. Icefire is now top 20 in Global Vayner TA, top 20 in Global Vayner TAD, and top 20 in max possible completion percentage in Vayners. In addition, he is now top 50 in completed Vayners. Ben L72 is now 3rd in Vayner Gamer Score and 3rd in Vayner TA. And Ben L72 is also 5th to complete Batbarian. So for the stats, for TA earned, unsurprising, in first place was Icefire with a commanding lead of 18,768. And then somewhere behind that in second place is Ben L72 with 6,098. And in third was David Bodum with 3,768. For Gamerscore for the month, also first place was Icefire TN with 8,180. Second place was Ben L72 with 2,220. And third place was Casual Exile with 1,000. And then there were 4 others right behind that within 20 gamer score of 1,000 for the month. All basically tying for 4th. For achievements earned, in first was, unsurprisingly, Icefire with 208 achievements. Second was Ben L72 with 96. And third was David Bowden with 60. So that does it for October. Only got 2 more, well, about a month and a half left of the year. So get some of those Vayners completed. You're running out of time. And I will talk to you again at the beginning of December.